What's up, guys? Welcome to another video of DevTalks with your host Traven, where we talk about everything engineering technology wise. And in this video, we're going to finish off with the last part about what are some of the downsides of AI and really get it from the mouth of a CEO at one of the best AI places and most used AI companies, Sam Altman. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and let's dive right in.
What will be the downside? I mean, I can see the upsides for sure.
Yeah.
Efficiency, medical diagnosis seems like it's going to be much more accurate. Fewer lawyers. Thank you very much for that. But what are the downsides that you worry about?
I think this is just like kind of how I'm wired. I always worry the most about the unknown unknowns. If it's a downside that we can really like be confident about and think about, we talked about one earlier, which is these models are getting very good at bio, and they could help us design biological weapons. Engineer like another COVID-style pandemic. I worry about that, but because we worry about it, I think we and many other people in the industry are thinking hard about how to mitigate that. The unknown unknowns, where there's a societal scale effect from a lot of people talking the same model at the same time. This is like a silly example, but it's one that struck me recently. LLMs like ours and our language model and others have a kind of certain style to them. They talk in a certain rhythm and they have a little bit unusual diction, and maybe they overuse em dashes and whatever. And I noticed recently that real people have like picked that up. And it was an example for me of like, man, you have enough people talking to the same language model, and it actually does cause a change in societal scale behavior.
Yes.
And, did I think that ChatGPT was going to make people use way more em dashes in real life? Certainly not. It's not a big deal, but it's an example of where there can be these unknown unknowns of this is a brave new world.
So you're saying, I think correctly and succinctly, that technology changes human behavior, of course, and changes our assumptions about the world and each other and all that. And a lot of this you can't predict, but considering that we know that, why shouldn't the internal moral framework of the technology be totally transparent?
I think this is where they're kind of getting into where he's about to go off the rails, but yeah, the biggest downsides are, I guess, in a sense, I mean, one, I'm surprised he didn't say job displacement again. This just came after that conversation, but he said the biggest downside are the things that we don't know about. He said, because if anything comes up where we do find out about it, well, hence, like, hey, we can't get past it to the point to where these kids are now committing suicide after this threshold and stuff like that. How can we didn't know that it would be taken that far. How can we take more precautionary steps to prevent it? Unknowns like that, where like he talked about the other stuff with the bio weapons and everything else. Like we once when we're aware of these actual unknowns, then we can solve for it, and it's a lot easier to solve for it because we have it as a tool to solve for it on top of ourselves in that whole aspect. So now when we're looking at, hey, like, what about it doing things that we don't know? And that's why they're using all these hundreds of millions of people as guinea pigs in a sense to figure out more information and things that they're not aware of or can't think of on their own inside of the company internally, and giving it out to everybody else so that they can be able to do so and have more data to go off of that. This is why I say data is so important. Data is one of the most important things on the internet right now. It is insane. If you guys don't believe me, we can argue about it. You can let me know in the comments down below. But there is in a particular portion, some would say job displacement is another downside of AI. Um, Another downside could be it 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 doesn't have a human soul or really work on a certain moral compass at all, especially because an AI can't be religious one way or another, and it should just be transparent. And that's where they were leading into. And the next thing right there is it can't have a direct moral compass. It just needs to be open and honest, straightforward. It's something that's only straightforward. So then you have to, the downside I would then say is um the different ways that people are using it that it shouldn't be intended to be used as well. And these are things that a lot of us should be sitting here thinking about and going off of, because we just never know. we never know. We have no idea what potential risks and things can come from using it in that aspect. So now here we are in this place where we don't know a lot, and then there's other things that we do know. And I wish he expanded upon just that answer right there, Sam. And this is one of the things where I wish that I was able to interview them as well to build up on top of these questions. I know these people have limited time, but I would much rather have several different interviews with somebody and niche out have a large conversation about a one point. And I think what this whole thing was about morality. I think this interview that Carlson was going for with AI was morality and the morality of the people who make the decisions for AI. But there's different little pockets in here, like we can talk about job displacement and things like that, that you can go deeper in, and you can have an hour conversation about this with somebody and pick their brains even further on the discussion. But you're not going to do it because that's probably not the goal of his interview here. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, which you guys may think the interview mainly was for or wasn't for. Let me know in the comments down below. I'm really interested in what you guys have to say. What are some downsides for AI that you think is possible as well too? And then also don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I really appreciate everybody who does. Thank you so, so much. I really do appreciate it. You have no idea. Without further ado, peace. See y'all next time.